Hello and welcome friends. In this particular module, we wish to discuss about the modern techniques of surveying and mapping. Broadly, we'll discuss about evolution of surveying and surveying methodologies, advances in surveying technology, basic features of total station, satellite and global positioning systems, 3D scanners, drone surveys and some future trends associated with the modern techniques of surveying. As you learn the content, you will be able to explain the evolution in surveying techniques, explain basic features of modern surveying tools, and discuss future trends in modern surveying. This is a particular picture which is depicting the variety of the instrumentation have been employed at all stages of evolution of surveying. Here you can see the variety of the levels, the technique such as fly leveling, variety of the compasses, various measuring gauges, computing tools, even the basic instrumentation like plane table with certain radiation as well as traversing like things, as well as even the compass, protractors and pedometer like thing, which is shown in the year of 1728. So, as this particular slide is depicting this particular instrumentation in the cyclopedia associated with the historical surveying instruments, you can understand what is the life of the techniques that are also being used even today. As we go back, the history gives the references of various land registers recorded in Egypt in 3000 BC. The records also depicts the re-establishment of the boundaries following flood of the Nile River and construction of the Great Pyramid of the Giza recorded about the same time. Under the Roman era, this land surveying technique was established as a profession, and these particular basic measurements were used in order to have the lands divided as well as to create the tax register against the lands have been conquered. In 18th century, in Europe, the method of the surveying, which is triangulation, have been employed in order to develop the hierarchy of the networks to allow the positioning of the various stations over the country. And as already you have gone through the considerable content associated with the land surveys, you are very much conversant with the techniques such as plane tabling, chaining, taping, etc. Still, the kind of the techniques have been employed in the form of triangulation, traversing, were that old but still it has got the applicability even today. In the historical period, in order to measure the distances, some steel rods were developed. Subsequently, variety of the chains, Gunter chain, Rabini chain, Surveyor chain, and even the modified version such as say IS chain was used in order to have the distances measured. Seeing the applicability, certain steel bands as well as invert depths were subsequently developed in order to enhance the preciseness in the measurement. In the recent periods, the techniques such as tachometry are transformed by making use of modern electromagnetic concepts, and hence the instrumentation such as electromagnetic distance measurement has been developed. In addition, there are not many techniques which are again extension of photogrammetry in the form of remote sensing, global positioning system, and this journey of the evolution of the surveying and technology is continuous. If you refer to the measurements as far as India is concerned, the book that is shown here, The Great Arc, which is written by John Key, and it tells us about how India was mapped and how the Everest was named. Interested readers may read this particular book in order to understand more, in order to understand the journey of surveying technology as far as Indian circumstances are concerned. However, as we try to understand these particular advances in surveying technology, we can basically consider the industrial revolution which caused the rapid urbanization. Because of this particular rapid urbanization, huge infrastructure was under development, and hence there was a need to have the advanced instrumentation as far as the implementation of surveying technology is concerned, right from the conception through the execution stages as well as even the operation and maintenance stages. In consideration with that, there was a need of the various databases as well as even the resource management. Simultaneously, the knowledge associated with the electronics, computer science and technology, and even the related softwares were under the development, and this caused the advancement in the instrumentation as well as various surveying technologies. One more thing one must consider here. Say, for example, if we think of development of, say, topo sheets by making use of traversing techniques or, say, triangulation techniques in the old era, was under the custody and the access was not open for all. But in this period of internet, there is an open access to data and information for a common man. And hence, lot many people, agencies working at the various levels kept on working on this particular technology according to their need, and hence lot many disciplines are developed associated with mapping, navigation, geodesy, remote sensing, global positioning system, photogrammetry, airborne laser scanning, even the geospatial concepts and digital terrain modeling. As we move ahead through the series of our presentation, each of these particular techniques we are going to discuss it further. But for time being, how the surveying technology was advanced could be understood through these particular titles. Let's try to understand the basic equipment in the modern period in the form of total station. Already you have studied about theodolite, then how it was transformed into digital theodolite. You also know about electronic distance measuring equipment in the form of geodemeter, telurimeter, etc. So as we consider, there is a need to have the angle measurements done as well as in order to have the linear measurements done, and hence there is a need to have both the things combined in order to convert in the form of this total station. But with the advances in the science, these particular total stations were transformed into robotic total stations which can be operated remotely. The next version was the integrated survey rover, which combined this global navigation satellite system and total station target on single pole. So here you can see that integrated surveying, which is showing the basic instrument, the robotic pole and the certain controlling techniques which are associated with the GNSS. Further, as we consider the applicability of this kind of the equipment on variety of fields, sometimes it was not possible to have some regions accessed. Say for example, below the ground surface associated with tunneling or mining or similar activity. As well, some terrains may not be allowing the physical access to the surveyors in order to conduct certain surveying. So under such circumstances, as such equipment are integrated with the video technology and has got the capability to operate it remotely, what instrument sees can be captured easily, and whatever the images are produced, that images could be used for office phase of the work. Here, the capability of the instrumentation is not ending, but still it is advancing with the advances in the knowledge associated with electronics and associated computer science and softwares. You got acquainted with the photogrammetry technique, in which we had discussed about having certain photographs either at the ground level in order to say it as terrestrial photogrammetry, or to house that kind of the photographs from high altitudes from various platforms. And these particular photographs were used in order to interpret the details of the piece of the features that we are interested in. This particular technique has got considerable ease, and huge area can be covered in very small time. The same technique is further extended towards capturing images which are obtained from the satellite, and that satellite imageries are proposed to be used for the analyzing the data to get the measurements and also to develop certain 3D maps of the area. Global positioning system is very useful for improved productivity with fewer limitations, which is giving the basic data of latitude, longitude, as well as elevation of the stations under consideration. One of the important features associated with that is it did not have the limitation to have the direct accessibility of the line of sight. And hence, the information could be caught within very small period of time, inexpensively, as well as with considerable precision, which otherwise could have been possible through conventional traditional surveying methods. One more thing one must consider here is the replacement of the human component with the advancement with the technology. As you see here, the entire globe and associated infrastructure is available just through the kind of the electronic gadget that you are using, which is portable in form, and it is catching the entire information which can be further processed through variety of the software that are available to all the people. One more advancement is in the form of 3D laser scanners. As you see here, this 3D laser scanner has got considerable applications through variety of equipment developed with variety of the sizes. This technology can also be known as 3D laser imaging, 3D laser scanning, 3D laser surveying, or also high definition surveying. The kind of the gadgets that are available, the kind of the equipment that are available could be handheld. It can be simply fastened to our conventional tripods. It could be having variety of the sizes, and hence it can cover very complicated structures. Say for example, if we think of variety of the plants, refineries, or any such complex structures, it can be scanned and immediately converted into the maps. Having the digital scanning and conversion into the digital maps immediately, it has got many applications. So there could be certain historical monuments which could be required to be preserved as it is or rejuvenated. There could be certain bridges. There could be some old monumental structures. So that can be scanned, and for their exact placement, the digital images scan can be very useful. As the equipment has got accessibility as well as huge range for sighting, it can access even very difficult terrains. One can simply sit at the office and the scanners and the scanned images can be accessed in order to monitor the construction progress remotely. Also, there could be very busy squares. The associated adjacent structures could also be there. In spite of the traffic plying on the road, in spite of the variety of the clusters of mains may be lying along the road surface, below the road surface, above the road surface, in the form of gas mains, water mains, electrical mains, and similar aspects, one can have these places scanned and could be used in order to design surface as well as underground utilities. One more extension to the advancement can be considered in the form of drones or unmanned aerial vehicles, abbreviated as UAV. These are excellent for taking high quality aerial photographs and video in order to collect the vast amount of data which can be processed further to have the desired output. In present time, it is emerging as one of the latest technologies to support the requirements of surveying. The technology as such has got very huge potential in the surveying as well as remote sensing. This particular technology is also advancing rapidly with the advances in the photography techniques, associated requirement of the batteries, requirement of the lenses, requirement of storage of the data. Also, the technology has got great potential to enhance the communication among the various agencies which are working on such a complicated site. So as you see, here the drone is hovering on this particular site and all the relevant details are accessed and being monitored through a person who is at remote place, that is away from that particular construction sites. The output of this particular discussion could be considered in the form of enhancing the coordination among such agencies as well as improving the safety aspects associated with the execution of such complicated structures. One more thing is very easy to understand is there is an instantaneous topographic measurements of the features which are having very great footprints. So the farms, some construction sites, various plants and such many things can be measured in very short time. Hence, such kind of a technique is helping us to save the project time as well as even associated cost. As we consider the use of such kind of a technology for defense surveys, it would be very useful to save the lives of the soldiers working across the boundaries in very difficult situations. It would certainly reduce the risk associated with the deployment of the associated infrastructure as well as military personnel in harmful way or during warlike situations. If we think of the use of such advanced tools and the development of various disciplines as we discussed initially, it is becoming multidisciplinary approach. So, as discussed initially, surveying was expected to be done through surveyors or associated with the civil engineering projects. It is no more the situation. It is increasing the opportunity for the professionals and users at all levels. So the way you see, if the person has got adequate knowledge of operating that particular equipment, he or she will be able to collect the data pertaining to that particular site. Different person may enter in and he may develop a map. Variety of the agencies may enter subsequently, say for example, to develop the landscape, to develop the say water conduit plants, sewerage networks, some other things associated with the requirement of that particular structure. So it is providing the opportunity for various professionals at various levels. The yield is immediate. Also, the fieldwork is considerably reduced as the catching the image is done in a short time with the greater extents, and the same data can be processed through variety of softwares, which is also reducing the considerable office work. These particular technologies are further strengthened because of variety of support applications such as cloud computing, online geodatabases, remotely controlled instrumentation, multispectral analysis, and even artificial intelligence. So, with the development of electronics, computer technology, tools like GIS, variety of software, and the user-friendly applications. With this, the applications are growing by leaps and bounds. So thanks for your attention. I hope the discussion that we had in order to understand the advances in land surveying will be useful for you. So the variety of the disciplines and the tools that we discussed initially, we wish to get acquainted further. So as we move ahead, we'll discuss about the basic concepts of remote sensing. So bye till then, I wish you very happy learning. Thank you.